The law of one.
Doesn't late night feel good?
I know, yeah. It's like way nicer.
Yeah, it's great energy. You know what I mean?
It's like dark outside and
yeah, the world's asleep.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We're recording this super late at night.
Yeah, we're here. We're live. It's the nighttime. The world sleeps, and we are here to talk about the Law of One and ChatGPT. Jason, you put together a really interesting article for Higher Density Living today. What are we going to talk about?
Well, I thought it would be interesting to ask ChatGPT number 4, Mr. OpenAI, the chat bot itself. I thought I would ask it what the pros and cons of the Law of One raw material is. So I figured we would go through this. I thought this would be interesting. Go through what ChatGPT says is the pros and cons on this.
That's awesome. You know, I got to tell you, the fact that it says that it even locked it out between 1981 and 1984. The claim to contain transcripts of a series of dialogues with channeled entity named Ra. It's got everything. It's like down to the T. It's really impressive what the system does. But it says pros of believing and cons of believing. You know how much I like those words.
I use that word on purpose. I put it in here. Well, I knew that it would understand the word.
Yeah.
You know, because people are going to look at any philosophy, and it gets into that. You know, like if you like a philosophy,
choose something that triggers Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. I figured we'd start off with that. Well, the cons will trigger you. So
yeah, the cons will definitely trigger me. So what's number one? What did the artificial intelligence tell us?
We're going to start off with the pros. The pros of believing in the Law of One raw teachings. Number 1 is holistic understanding of the universe. The Law of One offers a complex, holistic view of the universe, covering a vast array of topics from spirituality and metaphysics to the nature of reality itself.
Right. So I do like this. You know, a couple things that are an issue here. Ross says we want to remove the complexity. We want to remove the paradoxes. What we want to talk about is we want to talk about oneness and its simplicity and how everything comes from this thing called the one infinite creator. Seems pretty simple, right? Right. And then the combinations of this you allowing to exist came from this thing, this one thought. So, I mean, the AI did pretty good with saying, you know, the holistic view is the oneness,
right? But
there's no complexity to it. Ra tries to keep it as absolutely as simple as possible and remove anything that could be difficult to understand or paradoxical for people to be like, well, how does the universe, where did it come from? What is creation?
I think the complexity part, when I first started reading Ra, we got the books right there, but when I first started reading Ra, if you don't break it down and like, if you're just trying to read it in a narrative format,
not going to work.
You have to kind of go word by word.
You know, what something? I bet you it took like people's comments from the internet.
Oh, 100%.
And it was like, oh, you know, it was like, it was complex, but it's holistic. You know, it encompasses everything, but it's not really straightforward. You know, like that's probably what it was, because you have to take every single word so specifically, break it down, look at the structures of the sentence. They're all mathematically put together if you look at them. So
yeah, I love it. So complex holistic view, and then a vast array of topics, which it knows. I mean, it's from, we got Bigfoot sitting right here to aliens to, I know, did you like that?
I really like the
Bigfoot. I got that when I went up to Seattle.
It literally has huge feet.
Yeah, it does. It's really cool. It's like a little action figure.
It actually has huge feet.
And so, I mean, it's covering as far as the vast array of topics, you know, because, you know, I mean, Carla's just sitting there having to go really, really slow.
No, and it's Don's pestering questions. But, you know, Don's like, tell me about aliens.
Yeah.
Tell me about research facilities.
Yeah, the pyramids.
Yeah, I want to know about the pyramids. How do those exist? But Ra's like, okay, we're going to go over it, but remember, it's not important. And then what you find is that over the course of the books, is that closer towards the end, things become more refined. Now it's really about understanding mind, body, spirit, and the archetypes of the mind itself, so you can develop yourself to evolve, get to that higher state.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, for me, understanding the spirit, it says spirituality and metaphysics to the nature of reality. That's where the nature of reality, like what is truly true.
Yeah.
And understanding that this narrative that a lot of people believe through the ego is like a false narrative, in the sense of if you just believe this is all there is.
Yeah.
You know, then so, and I love the approach of reincarnation. We're just going to get into that. And I also love the evolutionary creational. Like when we think of the word creation, a lot of people think like biblical creation.
No. When I think creation, I think like an energy that wants to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I see it.
Yeah.
And you see it in everything. You see it with ants. They want to evolve bigger structures, right? You see with human beings, they want to build bigger cities. They want to become better people. They want to do self-help, right? You see with animals in the ocean, everything wants to evolve better. Everything, even from a cellular level to a greater level, even in space, matter coalesces so that it can become something else. Gases turn into, stars. Like this is the process that occurs. It's all moving and evolving to the next thing.
And that is the nature of reality.
That is the nature. And you can observe it objectively.
Right.
It's right there in front of you.
So I want to get into, it says promotion of positive values. So I want to stop right there because I think this is important. Even atheists have values.
Yeah. They value not feeling that there's a God. You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, they at some point you have to look at, it's like, that's why I like comedians. Like Andrew Schultz says this, and I think it's really good. He goes, when I craft a joke, I want to make both sides feel uncomfortable. So, I want them to like be agreeing. Like one side is like, yeah on the joke. And then the joke hits. And then the other side is like, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, I like that. And then he flips it again. So that's like a beautiful tapestry of getting both, like challenging people's beliefs, or biases.
Absolutely.
And when you look at, because I think the word value is kind of like the word with belief nowadays.
Right.
It's like, what do you value? Well, what do you give your time to?
Yeah.
Different things like that. But I mean, obviously you value your wife.
100%.
Yeah. So
I value the relationship. I value how much she teaches me, calling me out when I'm a hypocrite, stuff like that, helps me.
Right. But I mean, whenever we look at, because these are like buzzwords, and even ChatGPT picked up on us.
Yeah.
Positive values. Let's have positive values. So I like share with everyone your why you hate the word belief.
Okay. Yeah. Beliefs,
because I think this is important with values.
Yeah, we got to put that in there because if you're thinking about belief is saying that somebody else has given you the facts. You haven't taken the time to observe nature yourself, creation, things around you to say objectively, this is how I see reality, and this is how I understand that it works. And belief causes you to do a state of non-thinking. It gives you a mental laziness where I can tell you what these things are and you never even have to test it. And I just assume that it is the truth and I live by it.
Right.
But none of the principles from what I'm being told, maybe they're not even tested against anything. Maybe I could test this belief system against what's really going on around me in creation and realize, wow, that doesn't actually hold up. And so when you have belief, it reduces your ability to evolve because there's no self-responsibility of the thought, right?
It's like taking something that is a false narrative and then holding it. It's like trying to hold air in your hand.
Yeah, that's right. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. You're gripping on. All you're doing is just
grab
hurting
it, and you squeeze it all out.
it's just like you're gripping on to what you got in your hand. You think you have something inside there.
Nothing there,
and there's nothing there.
No, you just believe that it's there.
You're just hurting your hand.
Yeah,
like just gripping really hard.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. There's nothing there. That belief.
So the air is a good thing, right?
Right.
I can't see it, right? But someone tells me that air exists, right? So maybe I believe it for a second. Okay, this air exists. Well, how do I know that if I can't see it? Well, I need it to breathe and survive. It's a requirement, right? It's a part of our atmosphere. Helps the plants grow.
Right.
Helps me cleanse myself, oxidatively, through oxygen in my cells and like burn out the bad stuff. Okay, so this has to be here biologically. This thing exists. I need it to live. There's no belief in that.
Right.
It fundamentally exists. Even though I don't see it, it's allowing all these other systems to occur. Great. Belief not required anymore. I did the thinking, and now I know that this thing is fundamentally here, and by objective observation, yes, it allows me to exist.
Yeah, because some people would use the word, especially amongst the religious, even in the new agey type world, they would use the word faith, which is kind of like you're believing in something that you can't really see.
Right.
It's kind of like metaphysical.
Why would you have to do that, though?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not necessary. Why have faith? For what?
Right.
Look around. Recognize cause and effect. Understand your place in the existence of all these other things interacting. No faith required. Right. Just pay attention.
That's what that's the controversial teaching we've done. And I've studied her a lot is Ayn Rand. She kind of has the same thing. She's like, yeah, she figured it out. She's like, why? Why are you believing in something? Why are you going to believe in a God that's going to make you sacrifice? Then it wants
what?
all of the community, humanity to sacrifice for it too.
Yeah.
Like and if you really look at it, it's super narcissistic.
It's very narcissistic.
Because it's like, well, I have to sacrifice.
Mhm.
I've got to have selfless love. You know, I've got to do all these things in hopes that I get some type of approval from this God.
Right. At some time in the future.
Right.
Belief removes you from the moment and keeps you in the past and always anticipating the future. You never once actually get to live for right now.
That's good. That's good. So we got to get to this. Promotion of positive values. The teachings, ChatGPT says, the teachings promote unity, love, and service to others as the path to spiritual evolution.
That's 100% fucking true. It nailed it.
Yeah.
Is there a copyright issue on this? Like,
no.
Yeah.
Unity, love, and service to others as the path
right
to spiritual evolution.
And it also brought up individual and collective growth.
Yes.
Excellent job, ChatGPT.
It probably read the books.
It probably read them really quick.
Yeah.
All right, which word? Let me check the mode. Which words show up the most? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be. Oh, I know. Like on Bard, BARD. That would be interesting to do it on Google's because I have access to that one.
Yeah.
Because that has Google Books, so it's read all
cool.
the books. So it's read the Law of One.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that would be cool to see what it had.
Do you know what I learned yesterday?
What?
Do you know who was one of the early confidants and teaching Billy Meyer? Carl Jung. Yeah. Two people at the early time, right? Svath, the extraterrestrial.
Right.
Father Zimmerman, which was a priest.
That sounds very familiar.
And Carl Jung, who was related.
That's so crazy. I did not know that.
Carl Jung was like the cousin of fucking this priest named Zimmerman. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, remarkable.
I've heard of a priest named Zimmerman. I'd have to look that up a little bit.
Father Zimmerman.
Yeah, that sounds so familiar.
Okay, that was just a little side note.
I love that.
Yeah,
any Billy Meyer side notes? We're all on.
I love seeing you in green, by the way.
Am I all green with green? I'm like over here in the. I'm over here in the dark because of our lighting issue.
Nah, I know. But fuck it. I just want everybody looking at the logo.
Oh yeah, the new one. Yeah, you designed that. I think it's awesome. I love. What's the circles mean? Real quick.
Yeah. So no problem. So you'll notice there are 7 circles, right, with the chakra, and then you have each one is surrounded by 3 separate rings: mind, body, and spirit. And then you have the totality, which is the collective or our community, again, with its own mind, body, spirit.
I love it. We're going to have to do
In dead center, you have a little white space. It's the point of focus, which you have to have, right?
Right.
You always know what you're headed towards.
That's love that.
The zeal.
Yeah, it looks great.
I think
I'm like super pumped.
I'm really pumped.
It's not like our old logo was too busy to me. So I like something that's more like, if you look at really good quality logos, they're really simple and clear and concise.
I think this looks great.
And I mean any of the, like Apple.
This is tattoo worthy on me.
Oh yeah.
This could be my first tattoo.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, this could be.
I think you need to put it as a tramp stamp on that. Just that big circle.
I love it. Yeah, let's throw it down.
That'd be awesome, or on your calf or something.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
It'd be cool too. I think I'm gonna have to do one too. But that's like, I mean, I'll do one for sure. But
yeah, you just wait a little bit. Make sure it's really refined out. You know what I mean?
That's funny. So next pro is spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah, that's great.
Some individuals find that the teachings offer guidance for spiritual growth and enlightenment, helping them find purpose and direction in life.
Yeah, well, 100%. Like, you're going to look at something, and again, what did we say? You don't need belief. You don't need faith. Use these things, these like cosmic law, right? And see how it applies from the macro into the micro. Oh my gosh, this is useful.
Yes.
Looking at somebody as the other, as a reflection, and understand that I have a mind, a body, and a spirit, and understand how they're interconnected. It can help me live and be more balanced, be responsible for my thoughts. Fucking awesome.
Well, I think people get caught up because, you know, like you introduced me to the teachings, which I'm super appreciative of.
Yeah, no problem.
And love them. And it has helped me grow and be more enlightened. And it's given me a purpose and direction, because I was like bouncing around between lots of different ping-ponging.
Yeah.
Like the old pong, pong, different religions. It's just like pong, pong.
Sufism, Christianity.
Yeah, exactly. Judaism.
Yeah, Judaism, Zoroastrianism.
Rosicrucian.
Yeah.
Templar Knights. And the list goes on. Satanists.
Yeah. Muslim.
Yeah, exactly. So I was I had gone through this, so I understand what they're saying here, and I believe it to be true. But one of the things that people, I think, and I want us to talk about this because I think this is really important. They get hung up in where the teachings come from. And then they're not looking at the teachings.
Yeah, they're like
in the text. They're looking at where some alien bullshit, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I literally just had this conversation with Michael Horn on a previous episode. And I was like, why is everybody focused on the craft? Why is everyone focused on the physical evidence and the photographs and the aliens? That's not what this thing's about. The whole thing is about allowing people to understand creation and how that's a part of themselves.
Right.
Same with Ra. Like, who cares that there were 3 people in a room in Kentucky and one of them's in a trance state of meditation and it's coming from this thing called a social memory complex in like upper 5th density? Like it doesn't need to mean anything to you.
Right.
The most important thing from this is what is being taught about what allows you to exist, the framework for yourself and your interaction in what is this world, which isn't the reality.
But don't you think this is like what you're saying is what we should take every spiritual book with? It's like people get hung up in the Bible. I mean, look how many denominations there are just for the Bible.
So many.
And then they get hung up in the Quran or whatever. It's like take the book and glean the truth out of it.
Right.
It's that simple. Who cares?
Scrap the 80% of prose and find the 20% that's of value.
Yes, 100%.
I'm glad in the Law of One they talked about pyramids and stuff. Super cool.
Yeah.
I love myself a good old pyramid.
Right. We got one ready?
Yeah, we got one ready. Great energy coming off the thing.
Right.
Is that the priority? No, it's not.
Right.
The priority is you learning how to evolve, how to understand others, right? See them as the other self, see them as mere reflections of you, a part and parcels of creation. That's what it's teaching you.
Right.
It's just teaching you your own existence. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And that's what I want people to understand. No matter what you're studying, look at the truth in the text. Because the ego, what the ego wants to do is have you get into arguments. Was it with the Texas Receptive? Was it a King James version? Did it come from what part of the Hebrew and the Greek?
Skin? Yeah.
Was it in goat skin?
Did they translate it from Minoan properly?
Yeah, exactly. The Samaritan text, it's off one syllable of the Phoenician.
The cuneiform is inaccurate compared to what Yale said in a study from 1946.
It's like these, and I mean, you're a founder of Tardal, CEO.
You're a founder too. You've been here since day one.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, what I'm saying is we're in the trenches doing it. It's like those professors that talk about business and they teach business,
but they don't do business.
And their tenure, and they've never done business.
This is there's a great bring up a personal experience. So I'm sitting in many years ago in college. And it was a business professor, and they're teaching essentially the basic laws of finance, right? And financial markets. They said, this is what is used for pricing in, right? This is like how prices become their thing, like the present value of future earnings or the future earning into present value, right? If I'm going to put it simply, like cash. And I said, okay. And the guy's like, everyone uses this. There's about 100 people in this auditorium. So I raised my hand and I said, are you rich? And he looks at me like fucking puzzled. and he's like, well, no. He's like, I teach. I was like, but and you say that everybody uses this. He said, yeah, it's industry standard. But it didn't work for you. And that was it. Those are the calling cards.
Right.
It's no experience. It's people that are just living in belief of this is how things work.
Right.
It clearly did not work for you.
Right.
And now you're passing on bullshit
to
all these 100%. Other people. And not to toot my own horn, but everybody started clapping.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because it makes a lot of fucking sense. Well, and I actually dropped out of school that year.
This is the cool part, though. This is what you see these biblical scholars or, any type of religious scholar, these new agey guru cult people that do this. That they don't practice any of the teachings. There's no love there. It's all ego.
You and I live it.
Yeah.
We built it into technology.
Yes, 100%.
You and I couldn't do any more of this thing.
Yes, exactly. And it's just constantly every single day looking at creational principles and then going over and, self-improving,
Jason,
adapting.
How many years have we been at this?
3?
Yeah, 4 and a half years.
Right.
We've been thinking about this every day.
Right.
Think about how our thoughts have been reframed every day. If someone went back to our earliest podcasts,
Oh yeah,
look how much you'll see, even like with the
Yes.
way you and I converse and look at thoughts and observe
Right.
things, they're
Yes.
completely reformed.
Yes, 100%.
You know, we are far more objective than we were in the beginning.
Oh yeah, and I think you'll see a lot more compassion and more unity, and
most definitely.
I mean, especially for me, because I was always like,
I definitely love you more than I did in the beginning.
That's awesome. I love that. Yes, I love that somebody loves me. So
I do.
Yeah,
most
awesome.
definitely.
I think I only have like 2 or 3 people.
That's all. You don't need much more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that is like that's a beautiful thing. It's funny. I'll get in an argument with you over business stuff, and you're always like, "Love you, bro," and I'm like,
all the time.
Ah,
he's like, "This guy sucks."
Yeah, it's like, ooh. Yeah. Why are you going to be so fucking spiritual right now? Let's put that aside, just like so we can be.
Can we just duke it out for a second? Let the egos talk.
It's so awesome. Next, understanding of reincarnation.
Okay.
The Law of One provides an interpretation of reincarnation and spiritual evolution that can bring comfort and understanding about life and death.
You know, I think it's a very good point, and I'm glad the AI system put this together. When people really start to look at reincarnation, and there's been many studies on it, like studies on past lives done on children when they come back, and there have been qualified, vetted stories about these children living some sort of prior existence of historical record with total accuracy that these children would never know, right? Or go outside, stare at a fucking tree. What's it do? Dies all the time. What's it do? Grow back all the time.
You can see it in creation.
Yeah. Go to talk to a physicist. What does energy do? It just changes form.
Right.
It never dies, never goes away.
I love that. Yes. That's such a good principle to look at ourselves in.
Look at yourself in the same format. I mean, this meat suit goes away, but the energy, the thoughts, the impulses, that stuff gets stored. It has to go somewhere. It absolutely gets stored. And when you say that, when ChatGPT, like this AI is saying it provides an interpretation of reincarnation and it brings comfort to people, it should. It's showing you the obvious. Look around and see it. Recognize it. You can see it in many, many different things. And it's also like, oh, so I'm doing these processes so I can continue to learn. It's not just one and done. Talk about a reduction of stress. You know what I mean? Like, all these religions talk about finality and I'm burning in hell and do all these things. It's like, no, it again gives you the opportunity to think, to live in the moment.
Yes, I like that.
Not about fucking throwing coins in the coffer so that you don't go into purgatory.
Yes. Now, here's something that I think is really cool. I was listening to Wayne Dyer, who's, he's since passed away, but he's wrote a lot of spiritual books and stuff like that. And I've really grown to like understand his teachings more and more, and it's super cool. He does a lot of like Deepak Chopra. Him, they were both great friends and stuff like that. But he was sharing, and I'll share this quick story, and I thought it was amazing. It kind of brought chills to me. So his assistant was a lady that had been with him for a long time, and so she had a child. Everything was great, doing good. It even would bring him to work, and and then he developed almost like a Godfather type, perspective.
Yeah.
And then she had another child, and then so when she had his daughter, she kind of made up a nursery rhyme. And then would just sing it to their daughter, and then would sing this new nursery rhyme, and then, and did that for 2.5 years, and then she died. The daughter died, which is super tragic, when you have a baby die.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
So lots of struggles, everything else, just never. So she put that. She just said, "I'll never sing that again. I'm putting that to the side. That's for her." And said that in her mind, and was like, that's just, I just got to deal with this. And luckily I have, my spiritual teachings and stuff like that. So years later, she has another child, and the child's like 2.5.
Yeah.
And the child starts singing the lullaby.
Boom. Boom.
And she's like, she's like shocked. Like,
same kid that came back.
And the kid said, the kid said this, "Mommy used to sing this to me all the time." So it's kind of like
love stuff like,
I know.
You just gave me goosebumps.
I know. Yeah.
On my stupid little chicken legs, you gave me goosebumps.
I love it. Yeah. And you hear a story like that, and it's just like, oh yeah, That makes sense.
Makes total fucking sense.
Yeah, it's probably a learning lesson, a catalyst that both of them needed to learn to resolve. Yeah. So they were brought. That's why people get brought together.
Absolutely.
And that's why you have like a bond with somebody.
It's choice.
Yes.
It's free will. Always choice. It's free will.
Mm-hmm.
It's always occurring. Where can the spirit learn as much as possible?
And we're our higher self is picking the body.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like picking it, saying
there you get these parents, you're gonna go in this body. This is the relative theme of your life. You're gonna make choices within it, right? But this is what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna learn a shitload. It may be painful, it may be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it may be stressful, it may be blissful, but you are gonna fucking learn. And it's gonna be so good for you. Because you're here to evolve with everybody else. Yeah,
and you would know it. I mean, you would know, being in that spirit form, you would know you have perfect unity. So
yeah,
you're going to know, and you're going to know that's what's needed.
And you're sitting outside of time. You essentially get to watch time.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so this is going to be best for me.
Yes.
You know?
I think I almost like it to the story of Jesus where, you know, because he talked about reincarnation, you know, a few times where people got it twisted, but you know, where he's like, I'll come back, you know, and you know, they have the resurrection, you know, which I think is a symbolism of reincarnation, you 100%. Know, because he talked about like his spirit would, you know, leave and then come back and then he would have a new body.
100%.
You know, so and he said, you know,
sounds like reincarnation to me.
Yeah, I and my Father are one. It's all oneness, you know, unity. So to me, reincarnation is kind of an easy one to get.
Fucking cakewalk.
It's pretty basic.
See it everywhere.
Yes, that's the beautiful
and stop
part.
looking at the world like life with such finality. You know, like whatever. Death is just like this transition. Like let it go. Like fine. And then cool. Get to do it all over again. What a fucking blast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Enjoy every learning moment.
I always like simulation with game theory.
Sure.
Where it's like, okay, that was level 1 meat suit. Here's level 2 meat suit.
Well, that's how it's broken down.
Yeah.
No, because you have 7 chakras, right? Well, you have 7 major evolutionary stages, which can also be mapped to densities, and each one carrying 7 substages. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm at like 3.4.
Right.
12 million more years. I'm going to be, you know, probably up around 5 or something. You know what I mean? Or maybe a little longer. Like, great. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's like it. Like you said, it's the word comfort for me. It's like pressure. It takes pressure off.
It does,
because I'm like, hey, if I don't learn it in this lifetime, I mean, I'll strive to learn. But if I don't, it's okay.
But Jason,
I'm not going to hell.
How much more pure have you been with your actions?
Yes, there you go. That's
what about your relationships?
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
You're not believing in something that is dishonest.
No.
Or having to have faith to hope that you go to heaven.
You're just so much more truthful with yourself and others.
You know what the worst is? Do you know about the Jehovah's Witness? You've had them knock on your door.
They knock on my door all the time. Yeah.
You know dude, this is so crazy that they teach this.
Wow.
And it's in their Jehovah. They had to redo the Bible. It's in the Jehovah's Witness Bible. They have their own Bible. Only 144,000, because they took this out of the Bible and misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Only 144,000 of them are allowed in. To like,
why aren't they just killing each other?
Well, here's the thing.
Would it not be like going into
think about it? All the Jehovah's Witnesses all throughout time.
Yeah.
Think about it's like getting into the NBA. I'd just be like, fuck it. I'm not going to be that good.
No,
I can't be that. Because you have to go. It's like I just need to knock on doors all day long and talk to people and wear my little pocket protector.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get in the NFL. No, dude, you are in a Jehovah's bloodbath.
Yeah.
It's not happening. You know?
A Jehovah's bloodbath.
Could you imagine that? It'd be straight like Hunger Games in their group.
Yes.
Only 144 get in here. You're going to live in the floating empire, which is all great. No, fuck that.
It would have
noise.
to. I think I would just be self-defeatist. Like,
you give up.
I would just give up because it's like I'm not as good as. Look, there's only 200 people in our little church here, and 20 of them are better than me.
What do you think about
with the odds? You know, it's like the aliens. There's got to be out there because there's so many planets.
You think I'm going to let Jim 2 doors down? You know, like you think I'm going to let the guy who puts beans in his chili? You think I'm going to let him get up there?
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, dude. The hostility's got to be raw.
It's got to be like so many rules because it's got to be like because you're just constantly evolving and stepping up the game.
What are the anything that we teach? What are the rules? Oh wait, there are no rules.
Yeah, there's no rules.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
choose.
Yeah.
It's your own free will.
Yeah,
yeah. If you want to do negative things, what are you going to get in return? more negative shit.
You're just on the service to self path, and
enjoy,
and you'll get out of it at some point.
Yeah,
when you hit,
and it's going to be tiring because you're going to need so much blood sucking energy all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, didn't he say we switch like for what is it? It's not 51%. What I forgot what the percentage is, but it's like is it 49-51?
Yeah,
when we switch from service to self to service to others, it just takes like 1 degree or 2 degrees.
It's just 1 degree.
Yeah,
it just has to be in the majority of choices and actions made and learnings that are greater than 50%.
Yeah,
because if you're dead nuts down the center, what's actually learned?
Nothing. Yeah.
No, that you're at like creational point of perfect balance where there's nothing else to be learned, right? It's just doing its thing. It's just existing. That's not your job here in this life.
Right.
Your job's to learn.
Yep.
Creation allows you to exist so you can go out as piece of it to go drum up information so creation can grow as a totality.
Yes.
Let's learn from the spirit. It's learning from its own existence.
I love that. That's so good. And then the last one is, and then we're going to do part 2 on the cons.
Yeah, we should do part 2 on the cons because we're already deep 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're already deep in. Increased openness. Those who study these teachings often report an increased openness to metaphysical and philosophical concepts, leading to a broader perspective on life and existence.
Yeah, because it's just like ripping down dogmas. Like if you're really going to be a part of this, you'd be like, okay, I'll listen. Mm-hmm. If I'm listening to myself, I'm willing to listen to other things, and then I can test it. You're more open to it. You understand that people have choice and free will to do these things, share other ideas. Great. Bring it to me. I'm 100% going to be more open. All of those things are a new catalyst for you.
Yes.
And Ra talks about it a lot. So of course you're going to have increased openness. Excellent job, ChatGPT. And we would like to thank you for our kind community members for joining us for this late night session and for checking out the new logo. We love your comments on it. Whatever you say, we're still not changing it because we enjoy it here.
But you can. I like listening. I like looking at our comments on YouTube. It's
comments
really fun.
Are great. I really enjoy them.
Today I was looking at, because we got our one of our AI episodes on Instagram went viral. And it's like at 20,000 views in like a day. And we were talking about AI being sentient and the negative aspects of AI and stuff like that. And they were just ripping us up, you and I.
That's great.
Your hair and me not having hair and I love what I look like.
I love what they do is
it's all physical.
They attack how you look.
Yeah.
Not how you think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the logic's tough.
The funny one was, there was a really funny one when the guy said, he goes, "Oh, these are just 2 non-tech guys talking."
Cool.
I'm like, oh yeah, really? Yeah, we're in a tech company.
It's in 248 countries. Yeah,
but that's what the comments are. The people tell you not to. I take none of them personal. I think it's super funny.
I love when you send me the nice ones.
I had one guy on my video before we close. This is really funny. He goes, "After I watched this video, it looks like you had drank a Bud Light." You heard the controversy. There's like a big controversy with Bud Light right now. Have you heard about it?
I know it.
Yeah, with the cans and all this stuff. But I just thought that's just hilarious.
No, it was great.
It's stupid, but
some people they're great. I mean, it's like it's here.
Right.
Go ahead, step it up. If you got a question, I'll answer it.
Yeah, questions are awesome.
You know, we got no problem answering questions.
Yeah, 100%. We have our emails on hardenslyliving.com.
They're public.
Yeah, and our emails. So please send us an email. We'd love to.
We get plenty of hate stuff. I've gotten tons of like crazy emails.
Yes, yeah. I've gotten some weird emails like like
we're just doing the right thing.
The conspiracy theory ones.
Just makes me feel. I was like, oh, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, we're doing the right thing.
This is a strong catalyst for people.
Yeah, negative entities, whatever.
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much. Alrighty,
that's
buddy.
Awesome.
Thank you. Enough said. Have a good night.